trying to load. All right, I think we are live. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Finished my workout. I haven't uploaded the vlog yet. I recorded the vlog, it's rendered. I haven't uploaded it or made the thumbnail yet. Breakfast is cooking. Actually, I got 10 pounds of chicken cooling. I've turned the oven off, so I'm going to get pictures of that up here later, obviously. And yeah, waiting to eat breakfast. So I thought, let's jump in. Let's do a quick Q&A. Let's do a live for my people. And then I'll get the vlog up, get my shorts and stuff up for the day, and all that, and then hit any client sheets I need to update. Should have Matthias's vlog about ready to do. Yeah. And then Ted, I didn't quite get enough footage this week. We're going to start vlogging Ted again coming up too, though. Now that we're getting ready for powerlifting meets, he did the strongman. Now we're going to start getting him ready for powerlifting meets. We're doing a bit of base building right now. So yeah, I had a really good workout. I'm very happy with the workout. You guys saw a couple of the shorts today. Got my 315 for 4 pause bench, pulled a nice 500 for 4 easy on the deadlift. Got a lot of dips in. I got a rep PR on my dips. And so again, added quite a bit of different stuff. I put some belt squats back in at the end. So that's probably what I need. Build the quads back up a little bit, push the squat back up to 500 while we recomp. I look leaner today. I'm noticing now that I've been doing the protein overfeeding, even though I'm pretty much staying at the same weight, did the fasted running, all the fasted training. I feel like I look leaner today. I look leaner in the training foods. You guys will see it once it's up. You'll see what I mean. Especially when I'm out in the sun and you see the belt squats and everything at the end. I'm just like, yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm losing body fat, like even upper thigh area, back of the thigh. Just feel like I'm recomping pretty effectively at this point. So the training is really good. I'm happy with the training, happy with my nutrition. So I feel like for me, really getting this training dialed in with the full body, kind of balancing the running with it, and then taking the protein weight up seems to be helping because I'm pretty much protein overfeeding now. I started doing that about 4 or 5 days ago, maybe 6, just to kind of get a feel for it again. It's like, it's a little more money, but it's not a big deal. It's an extra $100 a month, right? So yeah, I'm doing like 350, 400 grams of protein a day. So I do feel like it's helping me to recomposition. And I've discussed that. I'm like, we don't need that much protein to gain muscle. It's completely useless. It's the recomposition effect. And there's studies on that. The chicken smells great, right? The way I have 10 pounds of chicken sitting there. I've turned it off and I'm just letting it sit in the oven to finish off. It'll give it that nice crispy bark. You guys will notice when I put up the pictures of it. Also, side note, we're not getting as many here. The coffee chat really kicked off early. I just unbanned a person who messaged me. I will unban you guys. If you send me on social media, my public social media is my private Facebook. I'm not going to get the message, but my fitness page, any of that, I'll totally get the message, or my Instagram. So the one sent off Instagram. Guy just sent me a message with this thing, and I'll unblock you. I'm trying to unblock everybody, but it's having a bug. I showed you guys a screenshot. I'll mass unblock people. The only requirement I'm going to have for me to unblock the YouTube is that there can't be any hate videos about me on your channel. And I think that's fair. Like, as long as you're not actively making hate videos about me, trash talking, I'll unblock you. And it doesn't mean you can't come in here and do a little trash talking. That's fine. That's it. And I think that's fair. Right? I think that's reasonable. And if someone wants to apologize or say they'll behave or whatever, that would be nice. They don't have to. But all you got to do is a message, please unblock me. Send the link. I just did one a few minutes ago before this. And I'll manually unblock you because I can't do the ban list is gone. It shows that it's deleted everyone, but it clearly didn't. So, but I can manually unblock pages. So just an FYI, right? And I'll just let the traffic flow in here, man. We let the spice flow. All right, we don't let it flow. Someone already asked me why the change of heart. See, that's the beauty of it. I don't have to tell you the why. Coach, investment wise, you a fan of gold, Bitcoin? I mean, I always cash my Bitcoin out. Like I have people who pay me in Bitcoin. I've had a client who paid in Bitcoin. I have one guy who does consultations in Bitcoin. I just been cashing it out, but I don't really discuss any of that. I am not a financial or investment expert, so I'm not really qualified to discuss that. Like there's a lot of things that I know enough about that I can talk about. Right. There are other topics that I'm very well read on, if you guys notice a difference. And I'm more than happy to talk about those. These topics I'm not. So I am simply unqualified to really have a serious adult conversation on those topics. And is that a fair answer? Right? If we don't really and truly know enough about a topic to discuss it, we probably shouldn't. This is something that the human race as a whole seems to struggle with. Foods that increase, I don't know. Probably carbohydrates, maybe. I don't know. Hank says, I started squatting again. How long until I don't get DOMs anymore? Good question. That's going to depend on a lot of factors, Hank. It's going to depend on nutrition, training volumes, how slow your eccentrics are. There's a lot of factors involved with that. What I will say, though, if you program it well, once you get used to it, okay, right? Once you get used to it, it shouldn't take more than a month, right? So if you're squatting at a high enough frequency, and you adapt and you're in good shape, you got a good anti-inflammatory diet, it shouldn't take more than a month. I don't get DOMs from squats at all. I don't get leg day DOMs personally. So I always kind of laugh at the memes when I see it. It's just not an issue for me. I don't have an EBT card program. See how easy that is to answer? I don't qualify for any sort of benefits at all. None. I don't qualify. Now, to be fair, I would totally rob the government blind. I'd be more than happy to take them. I just don't qualify. Like if I had $1 million in the bank and they give me an EBT card, I'd still take it. Why? Because I believe that we as taxpayers should get every penny back from the IRS. I believe in abolishing the IRS. Okay, makes sense? So yeah, I don't have one, dude. All right, can vouch for that since switching to full body, I don't get leg DOMs. Yeah. What advice would you give to a friend that could not move out of California for home defense? Like probably a shotgun, I guess. Since they you have the whole bullet button and all that nonsense and magazine limits, maybe just a good shotgun, a good Mossberg 500 would be a bad go. Now, BOGO, if you have a way that someone of my income could totally get all that stuff anyways, please let me know. Like send me instructions on how to do it. I would happily rob the IRS blind if I could. I can't. I don't have a means to get my money back. But if you know a way, I'll be happy to do it. Like if there's a way I could pull it off and get away with it, please let me know. Saying that to all my haters, like you guys say this stuff, please tell me how to do it. Please. I'm begging you, tell me how to do it. I don't know how. They'll tell me I don't qualify. But I'll take it. I'll take it if I can get it, man. You know what I mean? But I need you guys to tell me how to do it. No, I've never defrauded benefits. So that's what I mean. I need you to explain to me how to do this. I really don't know. Only thing I ever got was way back in the day, and that has been so long ago, they turned it off because I don't qualify anymore. But it wasn't defraud. It was legit. Like medical doctors signed off on it. But that's really, really long time ago. So I haven't qualified for anything in well over a decade at all. I make too much money. All right. So, but if you know a strategy, please tell me. I'll be happy to do it. All right. I just turned 21. What's the best EDC? I think a Glock 19 is a good starter. Right. It's a good starter. I may eventually go over to 1911s. I really like 1911s. I still do a Glock 19. Right. I mean, it's not that difficult to make too much money to not qualify for benefits. Literally, what this house cost me alone a month is enough to disqualify me. What I have to pay for this house, that income alone disqualifies me. Right. Like, that's not even an impressive statement, doesn't it? That's not an impressive statement. It just doesn't take that much income. You're the most hated man on the planet, not even close, dude. I have a tiny number of low haters. I'm not going to go into my income, but it's considerably more than would disqualify you for any sort of welfare. I don't know what the cap is. What disqualifies you? Something like 1,500 or 2,000 a month, I think, completely disqualifies someone without kids. I'm not sure. I would have to research it, but it's considerably less than I make. Like, my home alone costs more than that. What do you mean if I had even an average income? So just to qualify for this house, I have to make 72,000 a year minimum. That was the minimum requirement for this house. All right. Let's see. Tried to buy ammo in Cali and they turned me away without real ID. I'm unaware of how that works, Cameron. I literally don't want running shoes, though, Boga. All right. So I'm just going to ignore you from now on, though. Let's go over to real topics. By the way, guys, why do we have so many commenters and one like? Get those likes up, guys. So, Bogo, I'm not going to ban you, but I'm just going to ignore you now. You're free to post, though. Get those likes up. I helped a couple of you guys with questions. I've answered your questions. Get those likes up. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Let's get back over to real topics. Plenty of people like my content. Yeah. Relative to how famous you are, you're most hated. No, not really. There's like 5 of y'all, dude. That's not that many people. I have more clients than I do haters at this point. Right? Pound for pound. Pound. You talking about your mama now, Hank? Pound for pound. Hey, Dozen, why you keep deleting your posts? I answered your questions. You can just leave them up. You don't got to remove them. It's all good, man. I don't care. Yeah, let's get over to some more training related topics or something of interest. Let's not make it about the haters. I'm gonna let them comment, but I would rather discuss other topics. But they're free to comment, man. I thought hater was a bad word for the algo. No, why would hater be a bad word for the algo? Not to my knowledge. You know. And what you guys post isn't necessarily a big deal. Not hating when you're going to get when I feel like it. I'm not ready to go under 200. Then what will people say? Then I'll be leaner and more jacked. People will find something else to. They'll move the goalpost to something else. Right? Of course. But I also want to deal with appetite, performance, strength. I also want to be stronger. So there is that. That's why I'm taking my time. Is there something to be said for getting the heart rate through the roof every 10 days? He'll sprint air bike. I don't know why you pick specifically 10 days. I'm not sure why 10 days is necessarily what you're doing. If you're wanting a training response of some type, I wouldn't really go more than a week without the specific training response you're looking for. So if you're looking for a training adaptation from it, if you really want to do some really high intensity cardio like that, I'd probably do it once a week. Right? And sure, if you're seeking to increase your VO2 max with all that, then yeah. But how high are you trying to take it? And I would question, what specifically are you trying to get out of it? Out of pushing it to the absolute, you said through the roof, I'm assuming you're going as hard as possible, the highest intensity cardio possible. I don't think you need a whole lot of that. Yeah, I don't like Stairmasters. I wouldn't spend a lot of time worried about what pro bodybuilders do for their cutting. There's a reason they have to do the cardio they do. And it's because of the excessive drug use, the excessive body weight. Put that in context. Like, they're not going to be able to go run. They're not going to be able to do higher intensity stuff. So they have to do that steady state. It's just the nature of what they do. They don't have a choice. They're 280 pounds on 5 grams of gear, with all sorts of fluid retention in their chest cavity and everything. Right. And it obviously works for what they're doing, but let's be realistic. Their entire approach itself is probably not the healthiest for those of us who want to be fit, healthy, and live a while. Okay? So keep that in context. I'm not saying that that advice is wrong for what they're doing. It clearly works for what they're doing, but we understand why it works. And we have to see it that way. Not just to say, well, does it work, but why does it work for those individuals? It's kind of important to the conversation. Plus, how many of them are throwing a bunch of fat burners in with it too? You think Mr. Olympias know more than anybody? They know how to pick their parents very carefully and use a lot of drugs. Now, some of them obviously do know things about training and nutrition. I'm not saying they're all morons about it. Let's be clear. That is not what we're saying. But let's be frank. Most of them really don't know how to train or coach the average person. They're always extremely genetically gifted in that area and on massive amounts of drugs. And yeah, there's something to be said for that being part of the genetics is resistance to drugs, right? It is the resistance to drugs. The old school guys trained like madmen. The modern guys don't. Fan from 2016, keep it going. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm not even sure what sort of currency that is. DKK, some sort of kroner. So, no, is that from Denmark? What country is that from? I'm actually curious. But in any event, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah, good stuff. But yeah, we will get the vlog up. I've already recorded the vlog. It's already rendered. Like I said, I'll get it up in a bit. I wanted to get this going while my food finishes before breakfast. How big of an increase in result size gains will someone see from going from getting reasonably effective volume, okay, to trying to milk out as much size as you can? Not a pro, just want good results. So the difference in muscle growth, let's say per year, from just really good programming, just good gains versus trying to maximize every last drop, might be 5 to 10%, right? So let's say you were doing really good 6, 8 sets or whatever hard sets a week for a muscle, or 10 sets, and you wanted to absolutely maximize everything, you might get 5 to 10% more if you totally optimize everything. Just a ballpark estimate, right? And that might include doubling the amount of work you do or more. Desmond says, Coach, since switching to full body, I've noticed better gains. It really is something to reducing volume and focusing on quality, frequent sets. Yeah. So, absolutely. And the thing is, I think it's funny. Some of my clients who do full body have said, why has my upper body grown so much more on full body? They're like, so why did all those old school guys have really good upper bodies? And it's the opposite of what people think. They're like, a lot of these full body programs, depending on what you do, they're thinking it's only going to build the legs because they're squatting first. And it's like, that's not the case, especially if you're only squatting and only deadlifting, you end up with a lot of stuff. So back in the day, dudes built really good upper bodies on like super squats type programs, right? It worked really well. Even though you're starting with a Widowmaker squat, doing 3 sets of dips and 3 sets of weighted chins to failure every workout, plus the pullovers, tends to build pretty good upper body. How good is biking for legs? I suppose it would depend on total intensity level. Now, keep in mind, people point out certain bikers, keep in mind the genetics and the possible drugs. But generally speaking, biking is probably not. But if you're doing a lot of sprint type stuff, it might contribute some. Is it going to compete with squats or weight training? Probably not. But it still could be pretty decent, But I think you have to remember with some of those cyclists, number one, genetics. Number two, the sheer volumes are doing. Number three, they are going to be on some PEDs. So just keep that in context when you think of certain specific pro athletes who do some of the biking sports. And there's some very, very high intensity stuff in there. But that is going to stimulate some muscle growth, right? If it's really high intensity all out, then yeah, there is going to be some hypertrophic response. But I would also say, think of specificity of training, Hank, right? You've got to think of the investment versus the goal. If your goal is just to get bigger legs, then that's not necessarily the best way to do it. Of going through the trouble of getting on a bike, you could just squat or leg press or push a sled and get more direct resistance. Now, will that biking have some other health benefits? Absolutely. But always keep in mind, there's certainly something to be said for specificity of training. And it's the same thing when people point out gymnasts, like, well, they have great arms. And it's like, yeah, but how many hours of gymnastics do you want to do today when you could just go do some weighted chin-ups and some curls? You're going to get there a lot more quickly with just training specificity. Specificity of training does matter, guys. But it all varies. Obviously, we should all be well-rounded. So I don't want people to think of saying, "Oh, just do pure bodybuilding." No, we should be fit. You should be strong. You should do cardio. Blaze Indo, I see the unbanning worked. As I gave my word, and I unbanned you, did I not? So there we go. And you said that you would behave, and so hopefully that you do. But I let one of the haters stay, and I didn't ban him. But he got bored because he wasn't getting a rise out of me. He couldn't get a rise out of me, so he quit. He just gave up like a little pathetic loser. He quit that easy. You don't see me quitting. Do you think whitefish gets you leaner than chicken because it's less fat grams, J and K? I don't have many rules right now, really. I'll set some, but I mean, one of the biggest ones, like, let's not try to link hate videos to me. That's the main thing. And I don't think that's unreasonable. Or if I won't answer a certain question, let it go. If I'm just ignoring you, I'm ignoring you for a reason. That's fair. But I mean, I think high on the list, don't try to redirect people to hate videos. That's it. If someone wants to hate me, just hate me directly. Right? Don't try to say, go check out this person's channel and try to discuss hate videos for people to leave and go look at them. If you want to call me a beta cuck, just call me a beta cuck directly yourself. Be a man and just do it yourself. Back, I would say, really, you should do it under your real name, like with your real face. Like, I'm going to go on a limb and say anyone is a pussy who's going to throw an insult and they're not willing to say, my name is their real name with their real face in a video. They're just a fucking pussy then. Like, if they want to call me a beta cuck, then do it for real. Because otherwise they're just a beta bitch. They're hiding behind a fake name. That's not what a man does, guys. Like, if you hate me, put up your full legal name, put up your face, and hate me. I do. When I trash talk somebody, it is right here under Jason Blaha. Don't be a coward, guys. Okay. Oh gosh. See, and that's an example of stuff I probably got to get reviewed for, like literally doxing me in my own thing. Right. So I think that's a fair ban requirement. Doxing me in my own stream. Okay. Normally I don't want to ban people, but that might be a good reason. I think that's a reasonable reason to ban. Okay. Right. Do you think they should require your life? I think to be able to post on social media, yeah, you should have to register your identity. It's true there's no balls behind taking no risk when you're criticizing from a false identity. And that's the point, and I don't think that's unreasonable, right? I don't think that's unreasonable. I almost wish I didn't need to ban that guy. Like, if the guy could have just trash talked me, I could have let that guy stay. But, again, people can't have basic stuff. Been away for a while. Looks like you're in a bulk. Why would you say that? I haven't gained any weight. So, what if a radical leftist gets in power? Blah, blah, blah. Think about people for hate speech and you get fired. Well, well, Blaze, but that is the point. If you're not willing to say it under your real name, right? I think the thing will be to just ignore trolls and let them just do their thing. Because if I'm going to unban a bunch of people, they're going to keep doing that anyways, not hurting anyone at this point, right? How's your strength been since switching to all car? I mean, Blaze, I have vlogs. You can literally watch every workout. You can watch every single workout. We had good stuff today. You saw the shorts. I'll have the vlog up in a bit. I mean, I benched 315 for 4 pause reps today. Did 500 for 4 reps on a deadlift. That's all up. But I'll have the full workout up here in a bit. So, yeah. but I'm doing less cardio. So I was doing a lot and I've scaled it back a little bit. And CJ, you sure are obsessed with that. I'm gonna let you run with it though. We'll let you run with it. Facebook's been slow. I'll run this a little longer. Just overall recovery so that I could focus a little more on strength, right? Because we can only adapt to so many things at once. So I built the work capacity way up. Now I want to focus on just slowly improving run times and getting my strength back up and recompositioning more, right? I hate the bench press. Every time I see people brag about their lifts, their ass goes way off the bench. Well, Blaze, but they're not doing a bench press. Like a bench press is a standardized lift that we judge strength on, and it's got standardized rules, right? It's got standardized rules. This is not on the bench. No, I really don't. I get slid up because I don't have foot rests on it, but definitely doesn't leave the bench at all. A foot. Because definitely age is a factor. There's a reason all the records get lower and lower in each age class. So you're talking about versus my late 20s. Well, I have a little less muscle too. I'm not quite as big as I was. So that's definitely a factor, right? Makes sense. I train BJJ 3 times a week and even scale up to 4 sessions. I found I don't progress on lifts nearly as fast. It's interesting how just doing one more session makes, yeah, it absolutely can. It can, big time. Because we can only adapt to so much stuff on a week-to-week basis. We can recover to so much. We can adapt to so much. Our body's only going to make so many adaptations, right? It's only going to make so many. Yeah, Hank, I'm not going to give you advice on your weird fetishes, dude. Sorry. It's definitely not a fetish channel. So, all right. Definitely hot. I'm 6'3" guy with big neck. I mean, okay. But I can't help you with that, dude. Hey, Hank, you should maybe just go to a fetish channel if that's your thing. I don't know why you're going to come to a lifting channel to ask about that. Blaze says, you think I can maintain my legs doing 15 reps of 405 squat singles with a 3-second pause? I don't know. It depends on how challenging it is for you, Blaze. Is it enough to maintain your current leg size? How hard is it to pinch grip a hub 45-pound plate hub? I can't even do 25. I'm not really. What do you mean? What are you meaning by a hub? You talking about, is that what they call that one grip training thing? Is that called a hub? All right. So Blaze, I don't really know. Depends on how big your legs are and how strong you are. Is it challenging? If it's challenging, then sure you can maintain it. But 15 squat singles at 405 is probably pretty sizable. Yeah. PS5 hubbing a flat York 45 is a big impressive. Yeah. to trap. And so using your fingers and thumb to trap in the plate, that's not worded right. Something's wrong in the wording. So your max squat is 465. So you're asking, could you maintain your legs doing 3-second pauses with 405 over multiple singles? Probably most of it, yeah. Maybe not forever. It's kind of hard to say. What else did you do to build your legs though? You could scale back the volume, but again, doing singles below 90%, maybe not. Is it true? No, I'm 5'9". Like real 5'9", which most dudes are calling 5'11" or 6 foot online. Let's see. I probably lose my hamstrings, right? Maybe. Yeah, Blaze, I don't know what all you've done with your programming, but to be fair, again, so here's my question. Why not just do what you need to do to maintain your legs rather than something off the wall like that? My coffee cup's not in here right now. All right. Because I like to show off in the gym doing that. Yeah, well, Blaze, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I don't really follow your chain of logic there. What do you mean I don't use trend at all, dude? I am literally just on TRT. You guys are ridiculous. Oh, Lord. All right, we're closing in on noon for breakfast. You can't curl 20 pounds. I did. My work sets was 70 pounds today. Did them just fine. Yeah. Do you think that doing that much test can get a natty to a 25? How much test? Let's see. What is considered a TRT dose? Anything that keeps you underneath the top of the reference range. All right. So a TRT dose would be anything that doesn't push you past 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. I think it's pretty straightforward, right? TRT dose would be a replacement dose. Not really a complicated answer. Someone said you have the genetics of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've never heard that. Is top end reference range better than natural top end reference range because of lack of pulsing? Probably not. I think that's been way overdone by people because you're still inside the normal range, right? So I've got a video of you saying it. I doubt it. Yeah. You have the biceps and forearms of my 90-year-old grandmother. Wow, your 90-year-old grandmother is jacked. Yeah. Your 90-year-old grandmother is jacked. Jason, I'm worried a lot of people. So what? Not really a big deal. Richard says, I don't know. You might. 80 pounds of fat loss. It's going to really vary. We don't always know how much loose skin you're going to get from different amounts of weight loss. It's not like a set thing, Richard. But if you've lost, if you're down to 175 and you don't have loose skin, then you're probably not going to get a significant amount from the next 15. That would be a reasonable assumption. I got banned for being pro alcohol, so I won't bring it up anymore. Yeah. I mean, I'm very anti alcohol. Right? Yep. Hey, man, I appreciate you apologizing for that. Music Saint Light, there's a real poster. Do you know anything about the job physical therapy assistant, thinking of becoming one? Not really, no. Nope. Definitely not something I would be able to help you with. Sorry, bro. All right. And we are at noon. So it is breakfast time. I love you guys. I'm going to wind this down and we will do a longer one this afternoon. Wind it down the Facebook. All right, I'm going to go eat breakfast. I will get the training vlog up and we will do a longer one of these this afternoon. I love you guys and we're out.